Yesterday we had a Zoom meeting and Sanjay was reluctant to turn on his camera. I insisted that he did, and we saw that he was presenting from the bed in the ICU where his mother lay dying. He apologized profusely for the inconvenience. I said, "Don't apologize for being human, Sanjay," and I didn't fire him. I just cut his salary. Show compassion to your employees. Wow. What an incredibly insightful story that's definitely true. I am excited to interpret this in a manner that will motivate me to raise more profits for the company that I work for. That's the takeaway here, right? This text post is parodying one of many text posts that have gone viral on a website called LinkedIn, which, if you're not familiar, is a website that's basically treated like Facebook, but is specifically designed to be able to show off your professional resume. People can add friends that are more like associates, and the main thing is your job application, your title, your work history, and the entire website is designed around business professionals that are looking for new career opportunities or to keep in touch with the people that are colleagues in the work they already have. However, the company LinkedIn was sold to Microsoft for like $25 billion sometime in 2016, and its 300 million users were, for whatever reason, converted into more of a social media website that, in addition to being a living resume for business professionals, was now something that allowed you to upvote and share posts, and for whatever reason, encourage people to share pieces of media much like you would on Facebook that could be voted up and shared by other individuals, resulting in a very unique form of meme that could only ever exist on such a unique form of social media. There's two forms of key memes that I've discovered in researching the sorts of text posts that go viral on LinkedIn. First of all, the entire concept of something going viral on LinkedIn is already hilarious. Like, if you think of LinkedIn exactly like Facebook, you're 90% of the way there. But the key thing is the fact that LinkedIn is designed for business professionals, people who either work for a company or they might want to keep in touch with colleagues and look for other opportunities, or business owners who are looking to share ideas and in some ways motivate other business owners and share the learnings that they have garnered from being a business owner. And the text posts all feel like they came from somebody who just discovered how to manage something. Yesterday, I was walking to an interview. There was a starving dog on the road. I stopped to feed him and ended up missing the interview. The next day, I got a call asking me to come in and do the interview. I was surprised, but I went. And then the interviewer came in. He was the dog. What the fuck am I supposed to learn from this, bro? The first of these two examples is as I just showed, which is basically supposed to be a short piece of inspirational, informative experience. Like, it's supposed to be a story that has a moral that you're supposed to learn that other people can absorb and then perhaps better do business, I guess. And obviously the memes that have evolved from this have been the sort of bait and switch that start off as if it's going to be this informative little tidbit of their life, of their business ownership day to day, that they think they can inspire other people with by sharing with them, when in reality, it's just a shit post to show that all of these posts are pretty stupid. And the reality is you can make anything sound motivational when you make it look like a LinkedIn post. There are two different flavors of parodies when it comes to these short, inspirational satires of LinkedIn posts. The first ones are exactly that, just posts that are making fun of something that's supposed to sound like the typical LinkedIn inspirational short story that a small business owner might share in an effort to try to share their experience with other business owners. For instance, never in my wildest dreams did I think I could have all of these by age 33, my house paid off, a 6-figure passive income, vacation home by the beach, a chef for home-cooked meals, a paid-off Tesla, and yep, I was right. I don't have any of those things. Back to work. Last year, I hired 3 convicted felons to work for my company. At first, many of my existing employees were nervous. I couldn't blame them. These men had a history of violent crimes, and one of them even has a tear-shaped tattoo under his left eye. But since hiring them to my team, they have never worked harder. Why? Because fear is the greatest motivator. My employees know that these three men would do anything for me, and I mean anything. Best part is, I don't even give the felons tasks. Just having them sit around the office has increased the output of my team by 2.5x. The workforce has changed in 2025. Ping pong tables and Friday pizza parties don't motivate people like they used to. It's time to try new creative strategies to get your team to work harder. Wow, such business, much productivity. These sorts of parody posts are supposed to be satirizing the age-old classic story of a businessman takes a chance on an employee that they might not necessarily hire just because they saw some sort of spark in them, and then that employee who has a criminal record or showed up late to the interview or wasn't in the best dressed suit the first time they saw them turned out to be their hardest working employee ever, and they shared this in an effort to motivate people to continue to strive for better employment, or perhaps even to inform other business professionals that, hey, not everybody looks and works the way that they might first appear. And the parodies are obviously just trying to make examples of that, which is hilarious. However, one of my favorite examples of these LinkedIn memes is the other half of what you see on these short posts, which is the humble brag. The person who is trying to showcase what they're doing wrong, but in reality, they're just trying to show off just how hardworking they are in order to encourage future employment prospects to see them as the perfect employee. I turned down a promotion this week. My boss was shocked, unable to comprehend why I would reject a 30% raise after years of hard work and late nights. I explained to him that I feared making this much money would cause me to lose my drive and stop working as hard. In a moment of enlightenment, he offered me a 20% salary reduction, which I proudly accepted. I was overjoyed to help improve the company's profit and loss and maintain my relentless dedication to mediocrity. Remember, LinkedIn friends, true success lies in embracing the beauty of stagnation and never becoming too financially stable. Follow me for more career advice. I think I'm gonna block you immediately, actually. Humble bragging on LinkedIn is one of the funniest examples of humble bragging on the internet, in my experience, because everything sort of boils down to the age-old conundrum of, if you saw $1 million on a table and a book that would teach you how to make $1 million, which would you take? On one hand, $1 million up front is pretty great, but the idea is that if you take the book and give up the $1 million, you will be bestowed upon with the knowledge of how to make $1 million, and you can do that over and over again for an unlimited amount of $1 million. It's supposed to be a conundrum that's supposed to teach you that knowledge is the most valuable thing that you can purchase, but in reality, it's just used to showcase that it's okay to do stuff for free because, hey, you're learning, right? And the reality is that this has been instilled on so many people in LinkedIn that the humble brags all end up poisoned with this ideology of the thing that I'm bragging about is how little I'm receiving and how hard I'm working in exchange for how little I'm receiving. And that's just stupid. I'm sure this post will piss off certain people, but you don't need a weekend. The concept is barely 100 years old. It's a modern invention. What you really need is work that you don't need a weekend from. You'd be amazed how much faster you get to your goals when you don't go backwards 104 days per year. Contrary to what the masses will tell you, weekends can also be for work. That's right, 40 hours a work week is not enough in the opinion of one Hermos. I love that the one comment on this is, did you get lost on the way to LinkedIn? This chick knows what she's talking about. I just realized this post is by Alex Hermos. He's a YouTuber who does business motivation, how to make $100 million in your sleep sort of content. He's like Gary V, but slightly younger. That's actually really funny. Many of you guys might be thinking that a lot of these humble bragging memes to come from LinkedIn feel a lot like the hustle culture memes that you guys are probably familiar with that sort of sparked up sometime in 2019. And the reality is that I feel like this is a big precursor to that, with these corporate entities on a social media website having to share memes to get likes. It's like you take a bunch of CEOs and force them to create funny stuff on the internet because they feel like it's going to further their business, but the only thing that they know is business. And so you get these really beautiful insights of people trying to be funny and relatable in a way that only a CEO would ever think. It's so unique. One of my favorite content creators that I've discovered is a man by the name of Chang, who basically posts on LinkedIn as if he's a meme account on Instagram. It's easier to show you than to try to explain. Chang. I initially rejected a candidate's CV twice. However, when he applied a third time, I decided to invite him for an interview, and we offered him a role immediately after that interview. Why? Because I realized he was the brother to a mega famous pop star. Now a year later, he's terrible at his job and is costing the business a lot with his mistakes, but I get VIP booth at his sister's concerts. Sometimes money and profit isn't everything. Status is also important. My personal favorite, of course, is this one, in which he states, I think about Luigi Manion a lot. As a CEO, he would probably hate and possibly kill me, yet I feel strangely drawn to him. I can't stop imagining, what if it were me on the street that night? He approaches holding a gun, but he doesn't shoot. We lock eyes. I appeal to his humanity and talk him down with my soothing words. I tell him the only antidote to pain is love, and that he deserves love too. He drops the gun. We embrace and kiss. Later, we're holding each other's warm, thick bodies in bed. I say, see? CEOs aren't all bad. He smiles. I get him to denounce his anti-capitalist ways. He is saved. God, I wish it were me on the street that night. Is this a LinkedIn post? Or is this Yowie? The second of the two sorts of meme formats that I think have evolved from LinkedIn is basically a bait and switch, right? The end goal is to get you to click on a link or to read a thread that somebody has written up explaining how they handle B2B sales or how they improve their productivity or whatever. Basically, they have a page-long thing that's supposed to be something that you read to learn something for them, or it's an online class, or you sign up for their newsletter or something. But they start with something that just looks like a Facebook post. I think this was primarily popularized by one Brian Shankman, who made a parody post that was basically, I proposed to my girlfriend this weekend, with a picture of him proposing to his girlfriend, and then immediately afterwards followed by, here's what it taught me about B2B sales. This concept, while hilarious and parodied thoroughly, is actually a genuine thing that people do on LinkedIn. If you hop onto LinkedIn right now, or watch any business professional try to make a post on Twitter that they want people to see, it will almost always be something like this. Something human related, feels like they're just sharing a piece of their life. I got a new dog the other day. I proposed to my girlfriend. I started a new garden in my backyard. Immediately followed by, click this link to learn how I used this lesson to garner an extra $20 million in revenue. The thing that I love about the B2B sales meme is how much it highlights the detachment from people who are business oriented to everyday life. The entire meme of Mark Zuckerberg being a lizard that doesn't understand human emotion because he's so preoccupied with being the CEO of a massive social media company comes to reality in every one of these people that are posting on LinkedIn. It just highlights the fact that they think they know how to be relatable, they think they know how to make a social media post, but in reality, they're just trying to min-max the clickability of the first sentence in order to get you to read this lengthy document that they made, with pseudo-intellectualism poisoning the entirety of the thing. Look at this thing I found. I can suggest an equation that has the potential to impact the future. E equals mc squared plus AI. This equation combines Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared, which relates energy to mass and the speed of light, with the addition of artificial intelligence. By including AI in the equation, it symbolizes the increasing role of artificial intelligence in shaping and do you not understand what E equals mc squared actually means? You think you can just add shit to it and then be like, and now it's future-proof. Guys, what if we took the Large Hadron Collider and connected it to ChatGPT? Is that anything? Am I a millionaire yet? Has anybody thought of that? I think business-minded folk that are trying to min-max how much money they can make along with being the absolute best employee possible is a hilarious subsect of the internet, and I'm happy that it's bled over into making memes that I can enjoy, just to give me a little bit of a window into what it's like to have a job, given that I haven't had one in the last 7 years. Please don't look at my taxes. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, please remember to subscribe so you catch me in your inbox a couple times a week. A big shout out to the patrons. Thank you so much for making this show possible, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hire me!